Good Monday morning, everyone. I tell you, I'm tired of the cold and the rain. Okay, I can take a little chilly, but I'm sick and tired of it. Okay, so there's a lot to talk about. But you guys listening to Author Talk with me, Amy Russell. Dina Ray is with us today, and our lovely author guest is James Bowe. So you guys, Christmas has officially kicked off in my neighborhood and in my city. So you guys all know I live up here in College Station. If you are a college football fan, that's where Texas A&M University is, but I'm a Longhorn fan.
Yes, they were very sad this week. It was
great. They were.
It
was very depressing in town, except for me. I was wearing orange all the time. So we did, I know, we did, my neighborhood did like a holiday party. And what it looks like is they go to all of the model homes, and each model home has something different for kids to do. So one has goodie bags, one had like a snow globe ornament making, one had like a little wooden ornament you can make like elves or whatever, one has hot chocolate. And so you go and like the kids can just engage. I don't really like that it's at the model homes because I already have a home in this neighborhood. I don't need another one. So whatever. It was just a way for the community to get engaged. So we all got engaged.
You should keep an eye on that because you will have another home probably within the next 2 or 3 years because you really have a go-getter husband that does stuff like that and collects rental homes. And I say that as a complete compliment.
It is,
but you probably should keep your eyes open because you will have another home.
I know, but I already went to all them when I was building this one. So, but you know, who knows? Who knows? But
Can
also,
you imagine living through that again with all of her nitpicking that she was doing while she was having that house built?
Actually, I'm living it, therefore I can imagine it. I made fun of her, and I have to go to hell, James, because the whole time she was doing it, I made fun of her, and then I've had to live through it. So, look at the black cat going through James's.
Yeah,
he must be in the Matrix. One. I've seen it twice. I think he's in the Matrix.
I got two cats. You'll see the black one. The calico you won't see.
Yeah.
Very shy.
I get that.
Anyway,
I used to have a black cat and I have a coat. I know.
I had to beat myself up a little bit because you won't do it even though
I won't.
Okay, go.
I won't. But anyway, so we have a park here. It's called, I know Dina will. Central, I think it's Central Park. Whatever, Central Park or Century Square. Yes, it's a name like that. Shut your mouth. Anyways, you guys. I don't know the name of it. Okay, I just don't. I just go there with my kids. Anyways, they decorate the whole thing for Christmas, right? So all the decorations, you have Santa, you have hot chocolate, cookies, all the galore, and then there's a hayride that takes you through all the lights in this park. And so we took the girls there this weekend to go and see all the lights, to see Santa and enjoy it. And I tell you, last year we went and it was cold and it was rainy, and this year it was cold. I'm not a cold girl. I can take 115 degrees. I would like it to go back to being warm and sunny. I feel like I am suffocating under, just clouds and grossness. I am definitely suffocating. But other than that, because on top of all of that, Josh ended up not going camping with the girls because it was cold. It was just too cold for the girls because it was a primitive campsite. And what that means, if you're not a big camper, is it's not car camping. You have to hike to your campsite. And it was like an hour hike.
That's very cool, by the way.
And but with the girls, they couldn't, he's not going to make them carry a whole bunch of stuff. So he had to carry it a whole lot. So it was just a whole mess. So he ended up not going. So now I had to take him on these Christmas escapades with me and do all those things after he just got back from his Christmas party that he was at. He was in Houston for 3 days. Crazy chaoticness, but it was a fun-filled weekend. I'm trying to survive the week. You guys, I have 2 weeks left until my kids are off until January 6th, and I prefer my kids to be off because I don't have to get up as early to take them to school. Not that I'm not up. I just don't have to get out of bed. I'm awake. I just don't have to get out of bed. But
Dana,
what else?
She sure is using a lot of words to talk about this, isn't she? It's a lot of words.
I don't know. I would think it was her.
You know what? I don't understand.
She needs
Why
to calm
are
down
we
and
all
quit
hating
drinking
on
so much
me?
coffee.
Oh my God. I am done with
we
both
can turn
of y'all.
on James.
Both of y'all.
You can turn on James. Now he's got dogs. He's got cats. I mean, it's great. That looks like one of Rita's friends to me.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Well, what all did you guys do this weekend? I hope it was warmer than what I went through. So who wants to go first?
I was shoveling snow.
Let's talk to James. And James, where are you?
God.
I'm up in Kitchener, Ontario, which is about an hour's drive away from Toronto, outside of rush hour.
Okay, and, James, the complaints Amy's making about code is your summer. Her code
Not
is your
quite.
summer.
I mean,
it's
winter...
like it gets down to 60 where Amy is, and she thinks it's code.
Yeah,
that's not true. It was 48 was the high today.
See, James, I still prove my point.
I'm sitting here in Canada. Well, and the temperature, I guess, in terms of how you Americans measure it, is in the teens. So
my point's made.
Yeah. And, we're a winter country, but we get tired of it too. Great line I heard about Groundhog Day. The groundhog sees its shadow. It's 6 more weeks of winter. An Environment Canada scientist said, if they could guarantee me only 6 more weeks of winter, I'd be happy. So, and it hit us early this past couple of weeks, and for the first time in a while, we had to clear off about 1.5 feet of snow from our driveway. So
sounds nice. I bet you have a big time snow blower.
I bought one this past summer.
Yes,
I figured. I mean, it's just been shovels before, and I figured just in case. And I was so lucky.
Yes.
So, no, I would probably prefer teens over like cold and rainy. Like, it's like 48 and rainy. And I think that's it, because it's not like a downpour, it's like a mist. But also at the same time, I'm not a snow girl, so you win. Yeah. I'll give it to you.
It is sunny. I mean, I call this prairie weather after what I've seen in Nebraska with my wife, and it's just like white on the ground, blue in the sky, and cold. So
yeah,
that's what we're getting right here.
No, that's well, okay, so you're not warmer by any means.
Definitely not.
Okay.
Well, I'm indoors, so
that's
what this weather is built for. Being indoors, having cocoa and
with the
potato soup,
and
with the dogs and the cats. Absolutely.
I like
the fireplace
I'm here
going.
for it.
Yeah.
I love it. Russell, you're no longer homeless, my friend. How is it going?
It's great. You can see the living room behind me. It's been a hell moving here and boxing and unboxing and then trying to dispose of everything. Plus, when you move, you suddenly realize you need to throw away about half of everything you own. So we've got all that going on, and it's great. I love it. I love the chaos. This last weekend, I was interviewed on the Joe Ruse podcast, and I committed a serious act of negligence. The show was about 40 minutes long, and at least 3/4 of the show, all we did was talk about bourbon, cigars,
nice,
and bird hunting, and then the last 7 minutes or so, we talked about my book, and it was I had a blast doing it, but it was kind of negligent.
Well, it sounds like it was a fun conversation, though.
It was especially the bourbon part. We got in an argument about the exact way to make an old fashioned. Something I very much care about.
Okay. I feel like a lot of people care about that, so that's a good conversation. I like it.
It was fun.
I like it. I like your background. It's not boring.
Thank you. It's nice. Not boring. This is not. It's not as good as the forest, but I like the background too. It looks nice.
I like it. It adds something. And you got your little sweater on. I like it.
Yes, I look like I'm on Star Trek. Yeah, I thought James was going to be a science fiction writer. I didn't know he was going to be a fantasy writer.
Yeah. I love it. Dina, what about you? What
I
was
took
your
a shot
weekend
at James.
like?
See, that's your just first shot, James.
Just work, like always. I got like 10 or 12 projects I gotta get out the door. So,
well, congratulations. I know they'll be beautiful.
Well, they'll be beautiful. Yeah.
I do love my job.
I know that you make beautiful things.
Thank you.
So
she does.
Yes, she
does.
Okay. I need to thank our listeners, and then I need to gripe at James about a comment. We are like top 10% on some podcast channels, top 1% on one, and we're very grateful to our listeners. Most people listen to us during the week, James, on our podcast, not on Monday morning when we do it live, and we got to thank them. This is it. January will be 10 years that we've been doing this show. Unbelievable. You can go to YouTube and watch Amy when she was this shy, retiring, not want to be in front of a camera thing, and how she became a superstar. And and I never could find us back then. And when we first got on the podcast channels, I never could find us. I'm not computer literate the way Dee and Amy are. I'm just not. But Amy's done some things. Even I can find us now. You should find us. Amy, where can people find us?
Well, so after we rebranded, which Dina did our branding, and we all know I picked the colors because they're my favorite colors, but you can find us anywhere that you can listen to a podcast or watch a video version of our podcast. So Amazon Music, Spotify, Good Pods. If you're an iTunes or an iPhone user, iTunes. If you're an Android, Google Play. You can go and find us. If you want to watch us, engage with us, leave snarky comments towards Russell, I highly encourage those comments. They will make it onto the screen. How could they leave
snarky comments about me? I'm an awesome guy in the Star Trek.
You are such a delight. You are such a delight. I absolutely love it. But you can go over to our YouTube channel, our Facebook group, any one of our social media channels, and hang out, engage, ask us questions live at 10 a.m. Central Time, and we will get them answered. And if it's super snarky towards Russell, you may even make it on the screen, you guys. I'm telling you, it's just been really fun.
That would be fun.
he would love that if you did it. But oh my gosh, it's been a wild ride, you guys. But Russell, we have to end our year in this whole conversation we've been having about romance and the tattoos.
And I have something to say too about it. So go ahead.
Oh, do you? Okay. So I am in this book, Secret Santa book exchange. And what it is you get paired up with someone, you send them a book. They tell you what their favorite genre is, and you send them a book for them to read, right? So, of course, I was looking for myself as well because you guys, if anyone knows me, I am not a physical book buyer. I mean, I'm not a physical book buyer. I prefer ebooks and audiobooks, but there are these 2 books out there. They're limited edition and they're digitally signed, which I haven't seen in a long time, on Amazon, with imprinted spray tipped edges. It comes with a permanent book string in it, the ribbon in it. These books are friggin' to die for. And they're in the romantic-y kind of genre, and I find it interesting. So I wanted to tell Russ about it because I'm learning new stuff all the time. So they're co-authors on it. There's Parker Huntington and L.G. Sheen, which is who I love. Her Corrupted Chaos was my favorite book of all time. But it's a book one is about Sleeping Beauty, and the other one is about Prince Charming and Cinderella, and it's like a dark romance spinoff of it. But I want to show you guys these books. I know, but I want to show you the book, Russell, because when we've talked about sprayed edges, we've talked about sprayed edges and all these things, and it's different. I've sent you personal photos, but I want to go through this and show you because I thoroughly love it. So look at the cover of it. And you see the edges here?
Yeah.
Those
are
the printed.
That's like tattoos, right?
Isn't it beautiful? They're so pretty. And
it is
then
beautiful.
look at the back. But then when you open it, right, because it has the jacket, this is all foil. So it all is like an iridescent, like when you turn it, it's beautiful. Like it is just beautiful. But the printed edges is what I wanted you to see. And you can get it on Amazon. And the person I'm excited to talk about that helped us figure it out was friggin' Dina. Me and Dina were on our like quarterly chat with us and like some of our friends. And we all were just like chatting it up late at night for me, which was like 11 o'clock, which is nothing for Dina, but it was late for me. Okay. Cause
I think it was
I've been asleep 2 hours by then.
I know.
Actually, I think it was our Christmas party because I was about half lit.
Yeah. But so half lit for Dina, she figured out how to do it, and you just imprint it on when you're, doing the interior of the book, which is what Dina does, and book covers, right? On each page, you just slowly kind of imprint it. And there is like a software that'll do it. But these are on Amazon, you guys. Like you can go and buy these books with the imprinted, the foil, painted edges. You no longer have to buy them just from the author. But these are digitally signed too. They had me at extremely limited print because now I'm like, well, yeah, I'll spend $30 on this book because it comes in like a, here, I'll show you because I don't know the word for it. But like a casing that you have to slide the book out of
to get that done.
I don't know, but you see like the casing that you have to like slide the book out of. That's what it comes in. And like, I didn't know Amazon did that. Like I learned so much from this, just looking at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Wow.
And it's on, Russell, you're going to love this. It's on black pages. Like your book has a black page for every cover. It's on black pages. It's friggin' beautiful. Like, look at this. Look at this. It's a beautiful book. I didn't know Amazon could do this kind of stuff. So when I saw
I'm going to think that that it's being printed somewhere else.
No, I can get it. I can get it on Amazon Prime. I can get it.
It was printed somewhere else and they are selling through Amazon.
I don't know because it says the shipper and seller is Amazon.
Well, you can get stuff done and then like be a marketplace through them. But
then you wouldn't be a seller. Amazon wouldn't be the seller.
That big imprints can do that indies can't.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying if it was shipped from like a third party and then like sold on Amazon from like a store, the seller wouldn't be Amazon. It would be that store.
No,
but this is Amazon.
It would be Amazon by subcontract.
Who's the publisher though?
Oh, hold on. Let me see. I love this. We've like sparked this conversation because I'm like probably going to.
James is all edgy and thinking that we're not going to get to his book.
It's
James,
okay.
No, we will. I promise. PSH Publishing, which I think is this Parker S. Huntington, because PHS is his initials publishing. So it would be his imprint. That's my thing because LG Sheen is, she's
and
a
why
USA
does that matter?
Well, she was talking about big publishers.
The big publishers can do things that,
we like indies don't get to do. But I just thought this was super cool. And like, I hadn't seen them, but there's other books that are new releases that are coming out. Like there's this one here, which just came out, but look at this one. Their hardcover has the edges too, which is beautiful. But I'm just saying, it's just interesting to see that like now you can do that. My favorite is this one right here though. Cause
how much are they selling it? They're selling that for
$30. This one is $13. But look at the edges of that. Like it looks like a dragon scale. Yeah. Isn't that cool? It's this one's 13.
I wonder, and this is mainly just me because that's my, realm, right? Mm-hmm. So I wonder if you could get it done on Amazon, but you would have to pay for color printing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's what I thought.
What I asked about.
Well, that's what I thought because the hard covers for those other books were like $35, but then they had a coupon which brought it down to like $27. But the hard copy for this one, which I'm probably not going to read, but I'm going to buy because I just like it, is $14. It's on sale from $32 to $14, and I can get it on Wednesday, which is like 2-day shipping, which is good for my little small town. But I just thought it was interesting that they have them now on here, so you don't have to go to the bookstores.
Cool.
Because Barnes and Nobles doesn't have it either, because I went to see if I could get it and I can't. So it's interesting to see. But now, Russell, you see them.
I know. It's beautiful.
Need to talk to LJ during our secret Santa party next weekend. LJ will have the scoop, and then you can come back and tell everyone what you found out.
Yeah, but see, Russell, now you know what they look like, because they're beautiful in person, and the gold foiling on a hardback is phenomenal. It's just beautiful. But speaking of books and hardbacks and fantasy,
you can see it at Walmart.
I know, but we're speaking about fantasy. I'm talking about romanticities. But James Bow has written a fantasy book called The Night Girl. So let's get James talking about his fantasy so we can dive into it this holiday season. So Dina, Russell, take it away.
Yeah.
Go, Dina.
So your new book is The Night Girl.
Yes.
Is it related to, you have one that was The Unwritten Girl? Are they related at all?
That's a good question, but no. The story is very much on its own. The Unwritten Girl is sort of middle grade fantasy. It's the first published book I have. This is technically new adult. I mean, not really YA, because it deals with the classic story of a young woman comes to the big city and looking for work and finds it in an employment agency that finds work for goblins and trolls. You could say her boss is a real troll, but no, he's actually a goblin, and that's okay. So
I think I worked there.
Yeah. So the Night Girl is an urban fantasy set in Toronto, and it's really, I hope it's a comedy. I hope people find it funny, but it also has a deeper edge to it as it starts to deal with people that are living in the background, that are basically shut out from the human economy. How do they live? How do they exist in a world that is just not made for them? And
how did you come up with the premise? I mean, that's what interests me.
The story took a long time to evolve. I mean, the initial inspiration came back in 2003, after we had watched all the Lord of the Rings movies, the full trilogy. And my wife, Erin, said to me, it's like, well, you want to do a story? I mean, Toronto is a big city. It's everything. It's like there are cranes everywhere. Everything's building all the time. And she's like, well, what if they, like the dwarves, dug too greedily and too deep, like they did at the dwarves of Khazad-dûm? What do they awake? And so I just explored and rolled with it and tied in things like, office humor, since this is, a lot about working in a, the things you face working in an office environment, except that, the photocopier is magical, and stuff like that. And gradually the story just sort of shaped itself in terms of, why are the goblins running this employment agency? Because how else are they going to work? I mean, who's going to find them? They're giving jobs sort of sitting as gargoyles atop of buildings, being art installations. So how are they getting this work, and why would they have this work? Because they have nothing else. And so that makes the book take a deeper turn as Perpetua identifies, the main character's name is Perpetua. She identifies with the people she's working with, and various things happen, and she has to sort of speak up for them. So yeah. So
that really sounds interesting, and that's not even like my wheelhouse of reading, things.
Yeah.
So, well, I know that you've written a lot of books.
Well,
so, what do you think this one says that your other books doesn't say?
Well, there's a few things. The story is kind of a love letter to my hometown of Toronto. We talked earlier about winter and what's it like in between Texas and Canada in terms of how to deal with the cold. One of the ways we deal with the cold is we've built this huge underground city. We call it the Path Network. I mean, we have the title Underground City right there. We call it the Path Network, but it's 18 miles of shopping corridors that's located beneath the downtown, connecting over 4 million square feet and handling over 100,000 commuters on an average workday. But it's, that's during rush hour. These things are open 7 days a week. So during the weekend, you could still go down there and walk these corridors, but they're a lot quieter, and it becomes a lot stranger when you do that. So that became an obvious setting, especially with goblins and trolls being sort of these underground dwellers. And the book, allowed me to explore that and explore the other things I like about my city, and the rush of people, all the huge melting pot that we are, and just how we all sort of managed to coexist in spite of or because of all of our differences. And so that's how the story took form. Toronto is very much a character in this book, the way it's not in my other books.
Okay, well, and because you're dealing with goblins and trolls and things that are not in the real world, I guess you'd say, and it deals with invisibility and discrimination and hidden societies. How much of that do you think is real world issues, and how much is just fantasy?
Well, I mean, fantasy at its best is a mirror on the real world. I mean, Terry Pratchett, working on his fantasy novels on the Discworld series, I mean, he starts out poking fun at all the fantasy tropes, but he turns that around and uses fantasy to poke fun at the real world. And I think the best fantasy sort of does that. Just the way that science fiction allows you to model the way the world could be or should be, fantasy allows you to do the same thing except with magic and mythological creatures. So this is actually the book is the current edition that came out this year from Shadowpaw Press is actually a reprint. The story initially came out in 2019 with a boutique American publisher called Roots Publications. And in some ways, the story that I wrote got co-opted, or sort of, it became a lot more topical than I had hoped for after the first publication. One of the things I had to change in the story from going from the first version to the second version is I had to increase the number of the homeless population in Toronto, where a lot of the goblins and trolls were finding themselves in the book. And because they were all coming in for this prospective jobs, they were like ballooning the population. And I said the initial population was around 5,000. No, I had to up that number. So, we've seen, I know we don't want to get too political, but we've seen some of the ways that human nature has worked in the past few years. And so I'm trying to stay optimistic about about where we'll end up in this world, but the ending of The Night Girl might be the sort of the fantasy element, because we now have to deal with the fact that humans finally do see the goblins and trolls and fairies among them, and how do they react? The initial reaction that I had envisioned for them was mixed, and I still believe it is mixed, that the best among us would welcome them with open arms, but the worst among us would not. And yeah, and well, I mean, I guess go on. Sorry.
Do you think that you'll ever revisit this world that you created for this book and like turn it into a series?
It was written as a standalone, but there's always, I think the best standalones always has the possibility of where could the story could go elsewhere. So yeah, there is a definite possibility for a book called The Day Boy, That Girl, The Day Boy, and which would deal with, well, how do the humans actually react? What's the reaction, and how do the fairies, goblins, and trolls react in response? So the possibility is there, and I think when you leave open the possibilities for more, even though if you don't follow up, I think it can lead to a stronger book.
Yeah, because that's my thing with fantasy is you spend so much time building a world that when it's over, you're just like, what am I going to do with all of this information I have compiled? And from a reader point of view, you're like, well, come on, I'm already invested, right? So.
But the important story is all in that first book. So the scenarios are set up, decisions are made, and people commit to that. And once that's done, I mean, the main part of the story is over, and hopefully it hopefully wrapped up in a satisfactory manner for the reader.
Yeah, you're not just leaving it on a cliffhanger for
definitely anyone. Not. That's cheating.
Thank you so much. Us readers really enjoy not having a cliffhanger, especially for years, Dina, but we thoroughly enjoy it. I do have a question though, James, for you. And it's I think one that will like spark kind of like a rabbit hole conversation, because I'm notorious for those. But what book would you say changed your life, that made it kind of like the pivotal moment where you wanted to write, or where you fell in love with fantasy, right? What would be the book that kind of changed your life and put it in the direction in which it is now?
It's almost impossible to narrow it down to one. One thing, I mean, I credit my parents, who are both librarians and both really into books. And my mother made it a point to read to me before bed, long after probably any child would think it was cool. I mean, at least until I was 12. And I mean, I've taken that. My wife and I, when we started living together, the tradition that she set was like, okay, we're going to read to each other, or I'm going to read to her before bed. And that way we've gone through so many books as a result. But some books do stand out. There is Madeleine L'Engle's A Wrinkle in Time, which won the Newbery Award. I mean, I'm sure everybody at least has heard about it. And in many ways, that started me out onto writing, trying to write in my own universes. I mean, previously, I've been a big fan of the television series Doctor Who, which has a vibrant fan fiction community. And I was like writing Doctor Who fan fiction for years. And anybody who wants to get started writing, I do recommend writing fan fiction, because it allows you to practice while having a universe to build off of. And you also have an audience that'll be happy to read your stuff and offer you comments, encouragement, and critiques. But I was in that universe, and I was rereading. This is sort of like my late 20s. I reread A Wrinkle in Time. And I mean, the story itself is pretty, magical stuff. Madeleine knows how to sort of create these strange and wonderful and terrifying worlds, and see it through the eyes of this 12-year-old girl. And this, neighbor boy that she befriends. And I just, I love the story, and I love the sort of the chemistry, the building friendship between Meg and Calvin in the story. And I read the sequel, A Wind in the Door, where Meg was 12 in the first book. She's 16 in this book. And so the relationship between her and Calvin is changing. And is, in the background there, they're falling in love, but they're too terrified to admit it. And I'm sort of reading that as an adult, I'm like, oh, I'm there for this. I'm like, I love to see these people getting closer. It's it's an ideal romance. I want to see more. What's the next book? Well, the next book that features Meg and Calvin is A Swiftly Tilting Planet. And Meg is 24 and pregnant and expecting her first kid, married and expecting her first kid with Calvin. And I'm like, Madeline, you missed a step. And so that inspired me to start writing my first 3 novels, the trilogy, The Unwritten Girl, Fathom 5, and The Young City, which also followed a similar pair of characters in small town Ontario. And through their teenage years, as they become friends, and then their relationship deepens while all these weird fantasy things happen to them. And that's sort of what launched me on. And then I branched off and into writing science fiction and adult urban fantasy, and that's where we got to here.
I love it. So just A Wrinkle in Time, I feel like, yes, everybody knows of A Wrinkle in Time, but it's just a coinkadink, right, that you mentioned that, because, this all last week, me and Josh, when the kids would go to sleep, we would watch the 4 episodes of Stranger Things, right, until the part 2 comes out. And the last one, they talked about the book A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah.
And it was very like descriptive. And I feel like it was so fitting for that. And I feel like it is an inspiration for a lot of people that throws them into a direction of really diving into fantasy or writing in the fantasy kind of realm. It is very pivotal and those kinds of things. So I love to hear that. And I like little coinkadinkies, so I love it. Russell.
I have 5 or 6 questions.
Oh, good.
I know. So, did you intended this to be an allegory when you wrote it, right?
It became an allegory as I wrote it.
So it wasn't an initial intention?
A lot of the way I end up writing, it's one reason why I say, when did I start writing? The Sunrunners came out in 2024. The first scene, the first idea for it came out in 2014. I'm not a fast writer when it comes to my fiction. My approach has generally been, I have this very interesting scene with this very interesting person. Why are they doing what they're doing? What's the most interesting answer that I can come up with for this? And so there's a lot of throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. And eventually I come up with a first draft, and then it's a matter of like peeling off the stuff off the wall that wasn't good. So The Night Girl is longer than most. I mean, it came out in 2019 initially, but the first scenes in it which is of Perpetua being in downtown Toronto at night while the gargoyles are eating their lettuce, and she's the only one who could see them move. They're vegetarians. Those scenes came out in 2003, and just initially a lot of it was just trying to figure out Perpetua's voice, trying to figure out sort of how whimsical to make this world. And
it wasn't intended to be an allegory when you started.
When I started.
Visualizations, right?
Yeah. And then as I went along, the questions that I asked got deeper. It's like, well, why are they in this situation? Well, what else are they going to do?
Right.
Yeah.
So have you been to Tokyo and seen the underground city in Tokyo?
No, unfortunately, I've only ever traveled between Canada and the U.S. One of these days I should.
It's amazing.
Yep.
It's like something from science fiction because it's a whole separate downtown.
Yep.
And with parks and living spaces, and it's their own subways and sort of thing. Is that the way your world is? How does that contrast with the world in your book?
Toronto's underground city is apparently the largest underground shopping concourse in the world. I mean, Montreal's Souterrain is bigger technically, but it's in 3 pieces. So, I mean, it is entirely possible for a person to get on the Toronto subway, in the winter without stepping outside, take the train downtown and get out and be entirely indoors through the beginning and end of their commute. So, so yeah, and just seeing the bustle and the energy of just sort of hearing the clopping of all the feet that are like walking through these corridors, just getting through work is kind of an unreal experience if you're in the middle of it. And when they all clear out, that makes it just as unreal, but in a different way. So yeah.
James, I have a question for you. What are you proudest about this book? What's your proudest point?
Well, it all came together so well, I think, in my opinion, that the story is, I feel that the story is funny and it's whimsical, but it also has a deeper edge to it. And hopefully people can sort of take what they want out of it. There's a lot to offer everybody. They want a bit of office humor. They want a semi-sentient coffee machine that's talking to Perpetua while she's working. They want sort of scenes of the Lord of the Rings playing out inside or underground Toronto, that sort of thing. I'm proud of the fact that the quote unquote villains of the piece, the fairies, they're the ones that are sort of managing this veil that keeps the goblins, trolls, and fairies out of sight from the humans, which they're doing to defend themselves because they are afraid of what humans will do when they see them. But the fairies are the ones that are benefiting from the status quo. They're beautiful people. They don't have to. It's hard to say no to them. So they're at the top of this pyramid. And so when Perpetua's boss, T.P. Earthenhouse, a goblin, sort of makes this move to open up an economic lifeline to his people, it threatens the veil. It threatens the separation between these magical creatures and humans, and that's scary to both Earthenhouse and to the fairies. And it threatens the fairies' privileged status, so they have to move to act to stop it. They're doing it to defend their own privilege, but they're also doing it because, just like the goblins, they're terrified. And when Earthenhouse realizes that he can't help his people and yet keep the human race ignorant of their presence, well, he says, okay, fine, I'm just going to break the entire system. And when that goes badly, he's like, well, fine. If humans want a monster, I'll give them one. So there's a lot of ambiguity in terms of, who the villain is. In fact, there's no real villain. Everybody is wanting, what they see is the best situation. And they have genuine fears that need to be addressed. But just because those are in conflict, we get conflict. And the ending can be, runs the risk of being very messy.
Hey, James, how do people that want to reach out to you or find out more about you, how do they do that?
Well, you can see me on my website at bowjamesbow.ca, BOWJAMES.ca. And my contact information is there. They can follow me on Facebook and on Blue Sky at bowjamesbow.ca. Excuse me. And I have a Patreon page which you can link to from my main website. So start at the website, bowjamesbow.ca, and you'll be able to get to me from there.
And rabbit hole through the website. That's what I always say. I love it. Start the website and go pop around all the tabs and see what all James has on there, what all you can do, how you can get involved, how you can talk with James. But James, I want to thank you for taking time out of your morning, even though it's cold up there and you are inside. I do want to thank you for taking time out of your morning to come hang out with us, talk to us about the night girl in your writing journey, and I hope that it continues and that we can talk again about another book and your relationship with Shadow Paw Press.
Certainly. Look forward to it.
All right, you guys. Well, we hope everybody has a fantastic Monday. Stay warm, Texans. Okay, I know we're not built for this weather. So stay warm, stay dry, but have a great Monday, everybody. And until next time, bye for now, everybody.